How many of you think are actually training too hard? How many? 1% of you. So guess what? This video only applies to 99% of you who watch it. Coach Greg, and today I am going to explain to all you natural athletes out there the best way to pack on muscle. This is an extremely popular and requested video. So many people write me and say, yeah, we learned this and this and this, and you said this and this and this, but I'm natural. So what do I do? So this is the video for you. Before you even watch the video, just click on the like button. You know you're going to like it anyway. All right. Guess what? You don't win a special prize for being natural. Nobody cares. I don't care. You don't care. Your friends don't care. Nobody cares. We could care less if you're natural. Okay? Just got to get that out of the way. We don't care if you're natural. Now, you don't win a prize. You don't get a special award. You don't get a ribbon saying, I'm natural. Look at me, my ribbon. I'm natural. I'm all me. We don't care. Okay, so why are you watching this video? Well, because I'm going to explain to you how to build muscle when you're natural. This is how you do it. You do what we've said in every single video that's been posted on YouTube. It applies to you if you're natural. It applies to you if you're not natural. There is a zero difference. If you're natural or not natural, the muscle gets built the same exact way. The same frigging way. Just because you're on steroids, it doesn't magically create muscle and require different training stimulus. No. Natural, enhanced, same thing. Do you know what the difference is? When you're on steroids, you get stronger faster. Your muscles grow bigger faster. It doesn't change the way that it grows. It doesn't magically create new muscle in a special, unique, unknown circumstance. Think about this. People on this planet have been around for decades, centuries, millennia, years, a long freaking time. Long before the invention of steroids or testosterone or SARMs or any of that stuff, okay? Long before. What do you think the research, most of the studies, most of the experiments that are being done are on how to build muscle? Do you think it's all using people that are on trend? Do you think it's almost all growth hormone, peptides, SARM, ostarine, RAD140? Do you think it's all these people using these supplements? No. Most studies, most research, most things you learn apply to natural athletes. Do you know what's harder? To figure out what to do if you're enhanced. It makes more sense for people to ask, well, I'm on enhancements. What do I have to do different? Because those people have the changes. Those are people that are on new products that haven't been around for a long time. So if you're natural, you need to train the way we've been explaining to train the entire time. So just yesterday, I made this video and I posted it on rep ranges to build muscle. And my explanation is that you're almost all training wrong in the gym. And by that I mean most men lift too heavy for too low of a rep range. That means they're going in there and doing a set of 5 reps, or maybe it's 8 reps, or maybe it's 6 reps. Most men are not in there doing sets of 15. And I explained why. Because the myth is that like really heavy weights makes you really big and strong, and that if you train really heavy, you're going to put on more muscle. That's a myth. That's not how you build muscle, okay? When you do really heavy weights for really low reps, that focuses more on strength. when you do really, really, really lightweight, like 20% of your max or less, and you do sets of 100, that's cardiovascular. So like your heart, okay? In between these two extremes, the 1 rep max and the 100 rep set, or the marathon, is somewhere in the middle where the most amount of muscle can be built. Oh, but I have more fast twitch fibers or slow twitch fibers. So you can't generalize. You can't say how we should train. Some people need to do 1 rep maxes all the time to build muscle. And some people with different fiber types, well, they need to do high reps because it's all about the fiber type. That is complete bullshit. I'm sorry, you just don't understand this stuff. It's like, I feel like, I don't want to insult people, but I feel like, how do I explain things how do I explain the quadratic equation to somebody that can't add? 5 plus 5 is 10. If you don't know that, it's going to be very difficult for me to explain the multiplications and so on. Okay, now listen, it's the same way to build muscle. I don't give a shit if you have fast twitch, slow twitch, 20%, 10%, what muscle, if it's your calf or your bicep or your shoulder. It's all the same way to build muscle. This is the example so that you just understand it, because I like to explain things at grade 9 level. If you want to be good at sprinting, 100-meter dash, you should practice sprinting. Like 50 meters, 20 meters, maybe 200 meters, but sprinting. If you go for a 5-mile run because you have more slow twitch fibers and you want to get really good at running a sprint, you can't just say, oh, I'm going to run that 5-6 miles and get good at sprinting because I have more slow twitch fibers. Just like if you are a marathon runner, it would make no sense for you to start doing 50-meter sprints to practice to be good at the marathon. Just because you have different fiber types, fast versus slow, and different percentages of each, or fast 2-glycolytic, type 1, type 2, doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter what you think.
It doesn't matter what fiber type you have. All fibers require a certain time under tension, a certain training stress load, and they need this to have maximum growth, okay? You can't just do a 1 rep max and think you're gonna build as much muscle as if you do a lighter weight for more reps, okay? That's the bottom line. Just wanted to point that out. Just remember, it doesn't matter if you have more fast twitch or slow twitch, you still train the same. You can, in fact, make that assumption. It's the same as the sprinter or the marathon runner. The person with the fast twitch fibers is going to be better at sprinting. The person with the slow twitch fibers will be better at running marathons. But if you want to be a friggin' sprinter, you have to sprint. And if you want to be a marathon runner, you have to jog, okay? If you want to have big muscles, you don't need to do 1 rep maxes. It's not beneficial. It's not the way to train. If you want to grow big muscles, doesn't matter if you have slow or fast twitch fibers, you need to have the proper rep range. Is there an exact rep? 7.1 reps? No. Is it 12.3 reps? No. Is it the time under tension has to be 37.4 seconds? No. Is it an RPE has to be 8 to 10? No. Is it has to be a set within 5 reps of failure because that's the minimum effective volume and repetition range that creates growth? No. You're way, way, way overcomplicating and overthinking and overdoing everything. You're essentially taking basic, simple, stinking, so easy to understand information and trying to make it sound insane and overcomplicating it. To get more muscles, you need to train hard. Progressive overload is still a factor. So if you're new and you just joined the gym, hard for you is warm-up sets. If you've been training natural for 15 years, hard for you is going friggin' to to failure. So in between there is somewhere progressively overloading, okay? It's really that simple. So how many reps should you do? 10 is better than 6 for building muscles. 20 is probably not as good as 15. It's getting too high. I like to say 12 to 15 reps is a good range. And I like to say a time under tension of 40 seconds. That's how long it takes to do the set. But you're saying that, no, that's too long. That's because you're doing the set too quickly, okay? You're just going through too fast. You're bouncing the weights. You're throwing the weights around. You're not using good form, okay? You're not pausing. You're not under control. And you're likely to get injured. So I get all these comments. No, if you train really hard, that kind of reps to failure, you're going to get injured. No, you're getting injured because you're a freaking idiot and you're putting on too much weight and you're using sloppy crap form. That's why you're getting injured. Your ego is overcoming your ability to train properly. You're just like, I want to lift a heavier weight. I need to progressive overload. Every single day you go in the gym, you think you need to add 10 pounds to your squat. And it's like, you can't go up 10 pounds. You might be able to go up 1 pound a week, but that's a lot. Even 1 pound a week is 52 pounds in a year. If your squat goes up 50 pounds a year, that's insane. That's a lot. That's really impressive. So just think, that's 1 pound a week. So stop thinking you can just put on 5 pounds every time you train, okay? So the rep range, 12 to 15, time and tension 40. That means you slow the weights down and control the weight and go hard. Now, I get all the time so many comments, and this makes me so mad, and I had to make this video after sleeping because I was so mad yesterday reading the comments. I wanted to literally scream, and I did plenty of times at my phone and just being like, I can't believe how stupid people are. People were saying, you need to be strong because if you're really strong, there's a correlation between strength and size. Of course there's a correlation. If you're 400 pounds, you're probably going to lift more, and so you're bigger. That doesn't mean that you should all train to be 400 pounds by doing 1 rep maxes. Just because you're stronger, that there's a correlation to have bigger muscles, doesn't mean that's the best way to build muscle. So forget that. When you train low reps, the brain learns to recruit more fibers, and it basically makes you stronger, but not necessarily bigger. And I use the Olympic lifter as an example, and they're like, yeah, but that's just an Olympic lifter. There's girls who can bench press 300 pounds who weigh 130. There's girls who bench over double their body weight with very teeny muscles that you can't even tell they work out. You could look at them and be like, there's no way that I think that she works out. And they're natural, and they lift more than you. So forget it. They're lifting in a rep range that's low to be very strong. A lot of people say, yeah, but I'm natural. I can't train hard. Okay, this is probably the most important message of this video. Stop using your natty status that we don't give about as an excuse to train easier or to use as an excuse to suck. Stop using I'm natural, so I can't train hard. I'm natural, I can't do as much volume. I'm natural, I can't go as heavy. I'm natural, I can't train to failure. I'm natural, I need more days off. Then you hear stupid things just the same. People will be like, well, I'm natural, I have to train my whole body every day. I'm natural, I have to train like Dorian Yates style. I'm natural, so I need to train more like Ronnie Coleman. Or, oh, I'm natural, so I need to copy Larry Wheels. And they name all these different people, none of which are natural, and then they say they have to copy them because they do a certain thing or what have you. So stupid. I'm going to end it here, but be sure to stay tuned for part 2. Part 2 is better than part 1. I get into all my personal, what it was like on gear versus natural, what I experienced after. And there's a whole ton of information. You need to watch part 2. We're going to bloop up a video here and here. Make sure you watch one of these. And be sure to stay tuned for part 2. It's going to come up real quick. It was just too long to post in one video, so I had to switch it up in part 2 after watching the whole thing. Anyway, part 2 is awesome. Watch part 2 and subscribe.